Good evening, everybody. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I hope that you find something that interests you, some kind of different variations that you can deep dive and listen to and try to understand deeper than the surface. I just got off a live and I was talking about the Idaho 4 case. And I ended that live and I felt unsatisfied. So I thought I'd get on here and I'd talk about something different that I could end the evening on a positive note. That live just was not up to my standards. So I thought I'd get on here and I'd talk about something else. I've had this in the works for a while. This is talking about the mind of a killer. And the 7 News Spotlight is going to provide the video for us, and we're going to talk about it throughout. So, here we go. Oh, maybe I should link up the video, right? Anyways, if you watch this on replay, I hope that you enjoy it because I enjoyed watching it. It's different. It's very, very interactive as far as the understanding of the mind of a serial killer. Um, Hi, Paula. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. I'm just trying to give you an opportunity to catch a live. That's all it is. And this is the mind of a killer, not serial killer, the mind of a killer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started.
Dissect the behavior of the people who commit the most serious crimes. And tonight, I'm going to show you what we do when analyzing the psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists among us.
Premeditation, the planning.
So unbelievably powerful.
You shooter.
I think he wants to be infamous.
Stabbed him to death. No empathy, no remorse.
The first time they've been challenged, the first time they're being put on the spot.
And I'm Michael Usher. Usually, the public only ever sees a short snippet of a recorded police interview, if that. But tonight, we're going to break down the interrogations and the confessions of the worst of the worst. It is a fascinating insight into the deadly games they play and the intricate tricks used to catch them out.
Poison candy.
Total madness.
Excruciating detail.
The devil.
That is chilling.
What's in your head?
What you're about to watch could be a movie, but incredibly, it is a true story. It has all the elements of a Hollywood true crime drama. In Florida, a hired escort turned murderous wife, a complex and dramatic police sting operation, and recorded video of a young newlywed hiring a hitman to murder her new husband. That is the incredible true story of the attempted murder of Mike Dippolito by his beautiful wife, Dalia. On the 4th of October 2009, as the sun began to set over Boynton Beach in Florida, 38-year-old entrepreneur Michael Dippolito, whose wife was out of town, decided to hire an escort for the night. 35 minutes later, 26-year-old Dalia Muhammad showed up. Just 2 weeks after their first acquaintance, Michael filed for divorce from his wife of 7 years and proposed to Dalia with a $20,000 engagement ring. She said yes.
After one night stand with a prostitute, he falls in love and then leaves his wife. And I'm sure she was in character at that point. And then when she's got her hooks into him, the real her comes out, the evil her.
So, how much true love could this possibly be? A one night with an escort, he falls in love, he proposes, and she says yes. Wow. Talk about fast.
Hey, we're staying in Paris. All right, yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're just gonna talk. Okay. We're gonna talk, get some stuff out the way. You know, all right, cool. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it and what exactly is gonna be done. All right. And honestly, you got recommendations. You know what you want, what you know about him. Dude, is he your husband or something? Boyfriend? Your husband? How many y'all been married? No, for real, because the thing is, after I talked to you today, this phone, garbage. You won't be able to get a hold of it. I just want to make sure that, it's what you want. No. All right? Okay. Because, I'm here on word. I'm doing my duty.
This would be the first of a total 15 times that Dalia would look directly into the hidden camera.
Wow. So, she's able to have that kind of conversation that nonchalantly, and I could see how that could happen. She doesn't know this man as from Adam, and she's already plotting to kill him 6 months later.
Not only is she being secretly filmed, but her hired gun is a cop pretending to be a contract killer.
I was a little shocked because I didn't think she was going to be that open. So I came here and pretty much parked in this exact spot right here.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot caught on camera here. Let's have a little bit more of a look at Dalia on hidden camera.
How soon can we get everything going? Well, it's up to you. I mean, I need to done this week, but my understanding of everything was that I was going to give you what I gave you, and then that was everything. Until after the fact. And then after the fact, I guess you were going to come and, find me or whatever. I mean, I'm good for it. It's not like I don't have it. No, I know not to fuck around with you. You know certain things, whatever. You know what I mean? You obviously know where I'm at. Make sure everything's going to take care of.
I'm tougher than what I look. What on earth is going on here?
Well, she's a psychopath, and it's extraordinary footage. The police are reeling her in, but she's reeling in the undercover guy, thinking that he's a hitman. She's a narcissist and cold-blooded, calculating, cruel. She's more concerned about her image than the fact that she's going to have her husband killed.
Xanthi,
That's a big word right there, narcissist. She's more preoccupied with her image than she's going to have her husband killed. She's going about it like it's no big deal, like it's everyday conversation. It's like, oh, well, I know that I don't mess around with you, but this is what I want done, and I'm going to go get my nails done after this type stuff. It's very, very premeditated and very, it shows the mind of a killer that many do not get. They realize that a person has to have a certain type of mindset in order to kill. They get that. My viewers get that. But at the same time, they seem to romanticize the fact that there's so much that goes into killing someone. Sometimes they are just as simple as what we're seeing here. You meet up with somebody, you discuss the situation, you exchange money, and bam, the deal is set into motion. And it just turned very rapid into something very detrimental. Hey Carla, yes, I decided to come back and do another one because the Idaho 4 stuff I didn't really enjoy that live. I was just trying to get it out of the way. This is more what I wanted to do tonight, so I went ahead and put that one out and came back and did this one. So thank you for showing up. Paula, thank you. And Mystic Butterfly, thank you for being here. Let's continue to listen on this case. This lady has hired, she was an escort. She had a one night stand with a married man. He divorced his wife, proposed to her, gave her a ring. Within 6 months, she was plotting with an assassin to kill her husband, her new husband.
Plotting, as Tim said, to kill her husband here. In part of that there, you get some idea of her personality. She's flattered when he praises her. I'm tougher than I look. What do you make of Dalia?
Well, she's definitely playing a role, isn't she? The kind of the little girl, but also, as you say, you know, what she's doing is plotting to kill her husband, but she's kind of playing both off together, flirting with him whilst plotting to murder someone. It's really quite extraordinary to watch.
But she's covering her tracks. You know, she doesn't want emails. She's haggling over money, and she's very clear on what her objectives are. So underneath that veneer of niceness and little girl, you've got a calculating, narcissistic psychopath.
To understand her motive for murder, let's rewind. In public, Dalia played the role of loving wife. But in private, she wanted out of her quick-fire marriage. Her initial plan was to frame her husband Michael as a drug dealer. With an existing criminal record, he'd go to jail and she'd be free.
She's the sociopath next door, and she's willing to do anything to get what she wants. She wanted this lifestyle that she thought that Mike Dippolito could offer her. She saw him as a target from the very beginning. She thought this was a quick, easy 1-2, let me marry him and he'll be gone before you know it.
Dalia allegedly planted drugs in his car and anonymously called the police. When Michael became suspicious, she diverted his attention by telling him she was pregnant. He was ecstatic. She was lying.
Wow. He looks like Nick Lachey in that picture. The lead singer of 98 Degrees. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but he looks like that in that picture. So she was setting him up, planting drugs in his car to get him out of the picture so that she could continue that lifestyle without him being a part of it. It's almost like I want your life, but I don't want you. And you know how sad that is? Is money, jealousy, and revenge are the three ways that people tend to kill or be killed for those reasons. So she was trying to set him up. That didn't work. Then she's decided, I'm going to hire somebody to kill you.
Next, she contacted her ex-lover, Mike Stanley, a guy she had dumped on 3 separate occasions, yet managed to reel him back in with a single text.
Wow.
She got Mike to pose as a lawyer, ring her husband, and give him the misleading legal advice that to resolve his problems with the police, he needed to transfer his house into his wife's name. Astonishingly, Michael agreed. Dalia then turned to another ex-lover, Mohammed Shahidi, and asked him to hire a hitman to kill her husband. Mohammed told the police, and they moved mountains to trap Dalia. Yeah, let's back this up a minute here. 5,000% sure, Xanthi, she's saying. This is quite extraordinary.
It is. I mean, she's saying, I'm not going back. You know, she's made up her mind, hasn't she? And she's still doing it in that kind of little girl voice. It's incredible to watch the manipulation that's at play here.
The grandiosity of the narcissist too. 5,000%, not 100%, 5,000%. She's haggling over this fee when she stands to make a lot of money out of his death. He's already signed over the house. And when he dies, she's going to inherit a lot more money. And yet, you know, she's pound wise and penny foolish, really.
There's a lot of stuff I got to do. That's going to cost me a lot of money. If we got how do we do it, like, at the house, like, how soon could you do it? I could do it Wednesday morning. It's going to be like I break into the house. You know, then the girl's going to be home because everybody works in the daytime. Right. We're going to think he's at work. When he's not at work, then, you know, he gets to it.
She's ordering pizza. How soon can you How soon can you do this? Oh, Wednesday. I can go in. I can, everybody's at work. I can give two to the head, break some windows, this and that. Wow. That blows my mind. Her name is Dalia Dippolito or Dippo, Gicpolito or something like that. Um, just to know that somebody could plan your murder that quickly, it blows my mind a little bit. I don't know about you guys. So let me get you up to speed. She is talking to an undercover officer who is posing as the assassin. She went through her ex-lovers to try to get her current husband framed after marrying him and being unhappy about it, wanting his lifestyle after 6 months. She tried to frame him as being a drug dealer. That didn't work. He got wind of it. Then she got with another one of her ex-lovers. She's an escort or was an escort, and when he would approach to this, that guy went to the police and they set this sting in motion. So that's what's going on right now. You know, wow, wow, yeah. Women are, that's why in other cases, it makes you wonder. We give a woman a free pass most of the time because we think that they're incapable of devising such a plan, but you guys are pretty quick, like ordering a latte, well, I'm gonna kill my husband today. Let me go find an assassin.
Dalia left her car believing her husband would be murdered 2 days later. At 5:53 on Wednesday morning, she went to the gym as ordered. Police then knocked on the door and gave her husband the chilling news of his wife's intentions before whisking him away. 1 hour later, Dalia was called back to the house by a sergeant. Everything about the crime scene was fake, except for the news camera, which captured the entire incident.
It blows my mind how these individuals can just act on impulse like that. Like she is hyperventilating, it's like she's the one that set it in motion, but she's acting shocked, like playing the role. Playing the role. Wow.
It's incredible to watch the manipulation that's at play here.
I need you to take her to the station. I can't.
Probably done it in front of a mirror many, many times, preparing for that moment.
Go with these detectives.
Now, detectives know the police record of interview is going to be crucial in Dalia's trial. Remember, Dalia's still playing the part of a woman who believes her husband's just been shot. Police officers have to play along to get as much evidence as possible.
Protocol that we have to do is that you're the wife. We got to advise you your rights, so you know. Okay? If you don't understand any of them, you just tell me, and I'll stop and repeat. And first of all, let me just tell you, I'm sorry for your loss.
The police interview is fantastic, isn't it? He really kind of plays along a violin in many ways.
All right. No, I don't want to say no. Believe me, you don't. I don't know if you know he was shot. He was shot twice.
What they need is to make sure their case is watertight. So they have to play along to the point where they've got enough evidence to take this to court and be successful in a conviction and pull that moment on her, that bounce moment when they really shock her.
Right now, I'm going to go out and get in touch with the officers at the scene. I want to see if the house was burglarized. Okay. All right, just hang on 1 second.
Thank you.
Somebody call out there and see if the place was burglarized. Take care. Did you have the place? All right. over here. Drink some water. Get over here. Get over here. You know who this guy is?
No.
You've never seen him before?
I've never seen him before.
That is a classic gotcha.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Brilliantly done.
Hard one, though, because everyone has to stay in character, including the undercover cop who's playing.
Get him out of here.
Oh, wow. Wow. She is like, no, I don't know him. She's set up all these meetings with this guy to kill her husband. She's on undercover camera, but she don't know him.
It's at that point you can see the little switch in her head going in another direction, thinking, uh-oh, I've really blown it here.
She's scrambling for which personality to play, isn't she?
Yeah. What do I do now?
We know the truth. So, I know it's hard to commit to that, but now's your time, you know?
She's going to stick to her story, whatever comes.
Dalia continues to play her role and never breaks character, not even when police try and shock her by having her supposedly dead husband stand in the doorway.
Oh my God!
He's alive.
Come here, please. Come here. Mike, come here. Come here, please. Come here.
Can't fix
Oh
it.
my God, I didn't do anything.
I heard you.
Mike, come here, please. Come here.
Okay. Like, we'll take her back to booking, please.
Wow. Wow. Am I right in saying a true trait of narcissists or narcissism is they never concede error? They never give in.
They never give in and they gaslight. So they reshape your reality to suit their reality.
The video, the audio, it's not going to lie. You sound like a fool right now denying this. Because, like my partner just said, everything's on tape.
They're po-faced liars and they'll tell you black is white all day long and you come to believe it if you're vulnerable enough that black is white.
Oh, hey, it's me. Yeah, what's up? Nothing, Mike. Please come here. Honestly, I can't help you. Mike, please, I need the truth. Can you please help me? That's not the truth. What the you said you wanted to have me killed. I heard that. It's not true. That is not How is it not true? How can you believe that?
She's a master at this. She has been doing this.
She's still denying it. Like, even though they've probably shown him the interrogate or the tapes, she's still lying. She's still lying about it. They're lying. They're lying. Mike, Mike, you need to run, bro.
This her whole life, and she is used to the majority of people falling for it, and she will surround herself by people who will go along with this and will give her what she needs.
Well, a crime like Dalia's is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a criminal prosecutor. Liz Parker took on the case.
Dalia was a woman who, at a very young age, learned that she could use her sexuality to get men to do whatever she wanted.
This sort of person's often been described as what we describe here as a black widow, like a black widow spider.
In fact, I described her as poison candy, where she was attractive on the outside, but deadly on the inside.
Wow.
In April 2011, Dalia went to trial. Her defense was bizarre. Her lawyers claimed Michael Dippolito was a fan of reality TV and the murder-for-hire plot was a hoax, just so he could get on television.
I'm just having fun with it. Come on, I'm with you. You're having fun with me? Let me ask you something. Is this fun, Mr. Dippolito? This sucks. Okay.
Let me just start off by saying, when I married my wife, I was very much in love with her. And I thought we were doing things that normal married people do. And I was a very good husband. I mean, this girl doesn't feel sorry for anything. She still doesn't think she did anything.
Dalia was found guilty.
And I'm sentencing you to 20 years in the Department of Corrections.
But 1 month later, the verdict was overturned on a technicality. 2 more trials would follow, during which time Dalia gave this TV interview.
Who is Dalia Dippolito?
Understanding, sweet, and compassionate.
How soon can we get everything going?
Well, it's up to you.
I mean, I need to come like this week. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure.
Sweet, compassionate person. She's so sweet. She's wanting to set up the murder of her husband. How sweet. We need more sweet people like that, don't we? Man, how many? Gosh. But, I mean, to be fair, Mike should have not have rushed into this. For those of you just joining, Mike had an affair with this escort while his wife was out of town. Once she returns, he divorces his wife of 7 years, marries this one. 6 months later, she's plotting to kill him. Mike should have seen this coming. He falls in love with an escort. Come on, Mike.
You were acting in those tapes,
Yes,
but you're telling the truth now.
yes,
Why should we believe you?
because it's what happened. It's the truth.
He's now had a bit of time to try and get a story more in line with the fantasy.
And she thinks she can still manipulate her way out of this.
But she couldn't.
We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder as charged in the information.
On July 21, 2017, Dalia Dippolito was sentenced to 16 years in prison without parole.
Well, she got 20 and then got 4 taken away. So. Okay.
I guess I'm just still having a real hard time understanding why.
He's a monster.
Is this man criminally insane, or is it just a very convincing act?
Hey, Jared.
He definitely has delusions of grandeur. He thinks that he is God. And on the chessboard of life, my son was a pawn, and he outlived his usefulness.
My name is Under Sheriff J.T. Palmer. Me and you met on the side of Highway 177 in about Sing Road at about 3:12 this morning, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at that time, you made a couple of statements to me.
In summation that I'm guilty, yes.
Of what?
Of murder.
Okay, and who did you murder?
Gennaro.
This case is completely baffling in its violence and really just total madness. In 2012, Gerard Murray asked a college dorm mate, Gennaro Sanchez, to drive him to a nearby supermarket. But instead of picking up supplies, Gerard Murray shot Gennaro dead in one of the strangest thrill killings the sheriff's team has ever seen.
And how did you murder him?
With a gun. I shot him in the head twice.
Okay.
3 shots were fired, 1 missed.
So when this...
Do you see how, like, matter-of-factly he's saying it? I mean, if you've never seen any kind of confession of a person that's murdered someone, that they've actually admitted it, that's why I talk about on all the cases and the streams and stuff is to get into the mindset of somebody who is capable of killing. It's almost like they have zero conscience. None. It's almost like, I'm going to throw out the trash today. I'm going to clean my apartment. I'm going to go kill so-and-so. And then I'm going to go get a bite to eat. And then get a coffee later before bed. I mean, come on. It is so matter-of-factly, you know? It's like... I gave props and I gave... and I'm pausing it more than I I used to. I used to let it, play a longer period of time. So I'm gonna play a little more and then, you know, skip to some others. Thank you for that, Carla. Um, but think about that. It's like so matter of factly. Look at some of the other cases that we've heard about, where someone has been killed and they go about their business like it's just a mild obstacle in the way. I appreciate that. Yeah, I looked up the copyright things, and when it comes, the thing that I did with the music was called third party, which it's hard to explain, but I basically was copywriting not only the band but the record company and then YouTube. So three people, and in this case, I'm doing it out of educational purposes to demonstrate how killers' personalities and their thoughts and behaviors act, almost like teaching a class. I guess that's how it was explained to me to not get a copyright infringement on me, because I've been pretty good with the videos. It was just the music that got me caught up. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Don't y'all agree as far as this guy? I mean, to me, he looks like the Undertaker's son or something, the wrestler.
This interrogation was played on YouTube by the JCS Psychology under the heading, "What Pretending to be Crazy Looks Like." It clocked up.
Made this decision that you was going to take him and kill him. Why?
I made the decision 3 days prior to the incident. Attempted it 2 days prior to the incident, but he was not in his room, and then did so today as he was in his room.
All I'm seeing here is premeditation. 5 days before, he selects the victim. 2 days before, he has a crack, but he's not there. And he goes into excruciating detail about what he did and why he
at the entire drive until he got ready to kill him.
Then I pulled a second clip out of my pocket and set it on my lap.
Tell you what happened.
I loaded the gun quickly, chambered the round quickly, shot once, missed. Shot a second time, he had jumped out of the car, went around. He was driving 10, 15 miles an hour, so it was rather slow. Ran around the hood of the car, and of course it was slow when he wasn't purposefully driving. Tried to pull him out, couldn't get him out until he already had hit the tree. Pulled him out there, dumped him into the, before I dumped him into the ditch, I heard him hurling.
Wow. I mean, to everything you just said was just like matter of factly. And that's what I hope that you guys understand when we talk about other killers. That's why I harp so much on certain things that I do. Because I don't believe that people actually can get into that mindset with their emotions involved. Like the case that I just did a while ago. People were talking about, being outraged at certain parts of the procedures. I understand that. I get that. But um when I'm talking about the whole case in general, the outrage should be at the fact that there was somebody that just took somebody out without any remorse. Like this guy right here. He obviously has no remorse whatsoever about killing this guy. He went through that series of explanation like I missed the first time, hit him the second time, got out of the car and watched him go 10 to 15 miles an hour. Then I shot him again. I heard the gurgling. He hit a tree, blah, blah, blah. Just matter of factly, like it's no big deal. That's why whenever we talk about that other case and people defend the accused and they act like he has any kind of remorse whatsoever based on anything that's been stated, when we're talking about narcissism and we're talking about psychopaths and sociopaths, and once again, I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent, but his first words were supposedly, I want to be exonerated. I'm going to be exonerated. That doesn't sound to me like someone who's innocent. I would think that somebody would say, I'm innocent. Nothing less, nothing more. But I could be wrong. That's why in these other cases that I put up here, these killers are so hard to figure out. It look cut and dry, but then, when it's all said and done, it's so confusing a lot of times how their methodology just permeates evil. Let's watch a little more.
And confessed to
Pretty much everything.
in my mind, and I think you might agree with me, just cold-bloodedly killed him on that.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Have you ever killed anybody else?
No, sir.
I guess I'm having a hard time understanding what you got out of it. Can you help me?
I don't really get anything out of it.
Do you feel any remorse?
I'm sad that I got caught so quickly.
Wow.
Are we looking at a potential serial killer stopped in his path here?
Yes. Yes.
How would you describe it?
Cold. Very cold. Calculating. I think that he was just sitting back to see what he could say and get away with.
I've heard that more often than not. Whenever killers are caught, there's been, a lot of them have said that. I'm sad that I got caught so quickly. If that doesn't tell you all that you need to know about the mindset, I don't know what could. Truth says it's difficult for a normal person to understand how psychopaths or sociopaths' brain works. You're right. Joel and Lisa Guy killed by their son, Joel Guy Jr. I haven't, but I can look into that. His first words should have been, I was at Wawa Park. Wow, that's funny. But it's true. This guy right here he said, I was sad that I got caught so quickly. Look at this guy. I mean, he is just sitting there in full props. I want to show this part right here.
Others.
I think he'd be emboldened by it. It's more attention. You see, what these people thrive on is attention and keeping the story alive. So he would possibly revel in her pain too.
You've got a terrible thing done.
Yes, sir.
You killed a young man.
Yes, sir.
Just for the simple fact of, I guess pretty much just to say for you.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think should happen to you?
Death sentence, sir.
And why do you think you deserve a death sentence?
An eye for an eye, sir.
Do you believe an eye for an eye?
Yes, sir.
Astonishingly, Jared Murray was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He avoided the death penalty and is now in a high-security mental facility.
It makes me very angry.
Anything to say for yourself, Ted?
He murdered my son and got away with it.
Any reason why you might have done this, young man?
No, ma'am.
No reason.
No, ma'am.
You have nothing to say for yourself.
No, ma'am.
You want to tell the community anything?
No, ma'am.
Did you confess to police?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you proud of what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Do you have remorse for what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Not guilty by reason of insanity. What? What? Did I hear that right? So he convinced somebody that he was insane. So he pretty much confessed and everything else, and they found him insane. So they didn't do the death penalty. I honestly thought that was the direction that Brian was going to take, to be honest.
It makes me angry.
Fearful for others once he's released?
Yes. Yes, because anything could make him snap and he could easily kill. He's had the taste of blood and he likes it.
I'd rather not say anything until I speak to my lawyer.
Let's take one. Some people, I don't know whether it's just the presence of the camera or what it is, but they let it all out. Yeah. They just want to talk, and it wasn't the end of the world. We all thought we'd never get another confession.
I don't want to get ask him. I did.
We tell the public the minimal stuff. They see very little, and they don't understand a lot of what happens.
What do you think of this, mate? It's funny, man. It's funny. It is funny.
How crucial is a police record of interview? A record of interview is really important.
Now, did they appear to be dead when you...
The one that fell back on the road wasn't.
What happened then?
I let off another 2 rounds.
For what purpose?
Finish her off. More often than not, the interview is the piece of evidence that can swing the case.
Oh, I know it's my fault. You don't have to keep telling me, okay? I know that she was in my care when it happened. How do you think I feel about that?
It's a culmination of any investigation that you may have been going on for months, sometimes years. And then finally, you know, the final phase is usually the interview.
What was your ultimate goal? Kill him, be killed.
I was going to butcher him.
Yeah.
But I was like,
When you say that, you mean that you were going to kill him?
oh, yeah.
Is that Norma and Colin?
Norma and Colin, yeah, going to get butchered.
You've got to be listening.
You have to definitely. You don't know.
A movie that
I mean, could you imagine sitting next to one of these individuals as they're talking? You know, what was the end game? Why was going to butcher them? What? Really? Oh, okay. I bet they did too, you know, but sometimes you have to wonder if all they did was pass a psychological or fail one and, you know, fail a lot of tests and say, you know, yeah, you're insane.
Xanthi, how can you tell when someone's pretending to be mentally ill?
Well, as you've seen in some of these videos, they're taking too long to answer. They're trying to build a story. And often, you know, they're doing it a little ineptly. So it just doesn't quite ring true with what they're presenting.
They've seen movies,
Yeah.
they've read about it. They've no doubt role played in front of a mirror, they've rehearsed this moment. But at the end of the day, it all unravels because they're not genuine. People who are genuine in their insanity, it's quite obvious, and they stick to the script. And they're very sad people in these situations.
What's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath?
None at all. In fact, they're now referred to as people who suffer an antisocial personality disorder. I like the term psychopath. It's onomatopoeic, it's guttural, it sounds like what it is. But the common theme is that these people have no empathy, no remorse. They know what they're doing. They're cunning, they're calculating.
So, no empathy, no remorse. You know, no empathy, no remorse. I think this is an awesome representation of what goes on. Look at that. Look at the deadness in her eyes. You know, when people sit across from me and I'm doing counseling, okay, I look in their eyes. You know, as they say, the eyes are the window to the soul. And when I see a person with those kind of eyes, no matter if they're smiling, no matter if they're joking around or whatever, those eyes tell you everything you need to know about that person. There's no life there. The other stuff is just rehearsed. And people wonder how come I can tell they're lying. How come I can tell they're deceitful? Look at those eyes. You can tell she's lying. There's no soul there. And I'm not the only one, I'm sure. Whenever somebody's sitting across from me, I can tell a lot on behavior because I've been taught how to look at behavior.
Been sleeping, Inspector Walcott. So we're just giving him a little shake. I was concerned he wasn't breathing. You're right.
Even over my lad, with everything that's been written about him, everything that's been said about him, even over my lad has a family. Even over my lad has a daughter.
Xanthi, you've got some strong thoughts about that.
Wow. It's just so disrespectful, isn't it? To me, it looks like he's pretending to sleep. He's looking around. He has no intention of sharing any of his other crimes with the police and giving any of those families any kind of closure. No,
Nothing,
it's
no
just
comfort at all for them.
no.
Well, it's again, Milat was very much about control, and he wants to go to the grave knowing that he can.
I'm going to stop it right there, but I've hoped you've enjoyed this. I enjoyed presenting it. Time flies whenever you're having fun, correct? Truth says there are brain wasting diseases that cause psychopathy as well, and athletes who commit murder, it's almost always, the same protein that causes ALS. You're right. And it's sad that these things happen. But what do you believe happened to those individuals who are just psychotic, born to kill? Yeah, and I know when someone is trying to play me. You're right. There's things I look for that I'm not going to share on here, but they teach you all this stuff when you're in psychology, when you're learning the psychological effects of another person. You learn certain tools to understand an individual based on verbal and nonverbal skills. Um so when I'm listening to a creator or when I'm seeing a creator speak, it's instinctive to me to pick out certain things. It's not what they're saying, it's if they're on camera long enough, you can see it. You can look in their eyes, you can see either honesty or deception. People can't hide that. You could have a big old smile on their face and be happy looking, but the eyes tell all. Look at people that you encounter. There's a lot of dead eyes in the world. There's people that don't have much hope in life, and their dead eyes tell everything you need to know. It's sad, actually. Hopefully, they can find it. I believe that these individuals that commit these crimes, something was not wired right, and a lot of people missed it. Or maybe they thought they weren't really seeing what they thought they were seeing until the eventual end of the path that caused them into murdering other people or multiple people. My whole thing is this, though. My whole thing is this, though. How would you ever be able to defend somebody and be so adamant about them being innocent when they're in jail? I've never seen that, ever. They've made it through the process to end up behind bars with no bail, but yet people are so adamant that they're innocent. That just blows my mind. That's why going to jail scares the hell out of me because I know if I go, I'm guilty. Because there's a lot of stuff I've done that I haven't been caught for. Not anything that would, detriment anything that I'm building now. But in the past, I haven't, done anything that would get me sent away for a long time. I'm just talking about even for a traffic ticket or something that would send me to jail. I wouldn't last 5 minutes. I hate that environment. I hate that environment. I worked in a prison for 2 years and I couldn't stand it. But like I tell people all the time, sometimes people walk in their own prison on these streets until they eventually end up in one. I understand that, Carla, I really do. But at the same time, to be fair, there's a lot of people on these streets that should be in jail that aren't. So how do you solve that problem? Because I know probably 10 people that should be locked up for the rest of their life and are walking these streets committing crime after crime after crime after crime. Yes, exactly. It's a hard debate. It's a hard debate because just like the death penalty, there's people that are for it, there's people that are against it. Abortion, the same thing. You know, who's right, who's wrong? Is there really a right or a wrong person? Or is it just their preference in life based on their belief system? You know, I played football for a lot of years, and sometimes, I feel that the lack of emotional connection on some things that I should be emotionally connected on regarding sitting across from somebody telling me the most heinous stuff they've ever done to human beings without conscience, and me not reacting either, not crying, not being able to, you know, dissociate, but be there in the room listening to all this stuff where other people would be cringing and crying and all this other stuff. I can sit there and not feel it. I don't know how that happened, but I can do that. And I don't know if it's that head trauma or, years of abuse. I don't know what it is, but it takes a lot for me to cry. And it usually happens when I'm tired. That's when I can cry. Any other times, it doesn't happen very easily. So whenever I'm listening to people have the ability to have a mindset where they're incapable of understanding their level of consciousness or consequence, that's a scary individual right there. Just like Truth just said. You get to that point, there's no turning back. There's no, why didn't you stop? Why did you keep going? Because to them, the end game is about destroying and annihilation. It's not about revenge. Well, I mean, even after the therapy, I don't have emotional attachment to it. I mean, I've heard some gruesome stuff, I've heard stories of babies and young children and all you can imagine that people do. I've literally had these type of people sitting across the desk from me. And I know that I've had coworkers that emotionally break down when they hear this. It makes me wonder about certain things. And I know I'm not the only one, but it makes me wonder, where did that switch get turned off and why hasn't it turned back on? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed tonight's third video. Um, it wasn't planned. I just felt that the Idaho 4 live that I did a little while ago was trash. I didn't feel good after it. I felt like it was just a waste of time and energy. There's much more to be dove into that can make a difference rather than to focus on one person. I'd like all those individuals that really believe that Brian is innocent, let him move in with them. Open their doors to him. Reach out to him. I bet they wouldn't. They wouldn't. You're right, Carla. I'm over it even after the trial is over or done. I'm over it. I've reached my limit with that case. Honestly, I can sit here and say I don't care the outcome. I want justice for those 4 kids, whoever did it. And that's all I want to say about that. If he did it, I hope his appeals go swiftly and he's held accountable. That there's no plea bargaining or getting out of it. Sure, Rondi. Ask away. Yeah, you can't let that person walk free. Just like any of these people that we looked at on this video. Can you imagine if they wouldn't have been arrested? With their mental state, there would have been serial killers in the making, especially that one guy. All the mainstreamers got thousands of subs from that case. Now they don't cover it. The others started during the Petito. Yeah. I was looking at the Petito case at the very end. So I mean Brian Laundrie or whatever his name was, Landry, had just killed himself, and that's all that I knew about that case. Exactly, truth. Rondi, I'm waiting for your question. I mean, that's what I always say. Would you want somebody who's been found to be a part of a murder and it was your loved one? Would you want them free? I wouldn't. Wow. Just because it wasn't said it was a sex crime doesn't mean that it wasn't intended. You know, that is an interesting question. It really is. Because we've been told that there was no sexual assault, but really it could have been sexually motivated. That could have been the severity of the crime itself, and that's all I can really think on that. I mean, because there are some sadistic sexual killers that actually get off on the penetrating act of thrusting the knife into the victim because it's more of a power and control rather than the actual act. And some have actually went back after the corpse had been deceased and actually had sex with it, you know? Yeah, yeah, you know. I heard that too, Paula. I actually saw that person's video that was on my panel, and she's holding true to that theory. And I wonder where she got that belief at. Um, that the victims are alive and BK is not in jail. They're all in witness protection. Right. I don't. I guess people believe that because we didn't see the bodies actually being taken out of the home, that they're not really dead. Kind of like, all the conspiracies over the years about the famous individuals that have died. Elvis, some people think Michael Jackson's still alive, Tupac, all these people that are still alive, living somewhere else. I don't believe they're still alive, and I don't believe Brian was an informant. I don't believe that he was he's a Fed. And I don't believe any of that stuff. I don't believe that the kids were informants. They may have been pulled over for drug crimes or paraphernalia or whatever, but as far as them being informants and that's what caused their murder, no. No. No one seen them walk out either. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the very first case got me thinking about that. That's how weird this whole thing is. It's like that police staged the first case and that I just showed how that person was alive and they put blood all over the room and made it look like he was dead. I guess that's how people visualize that case is, the police came in, did a theatrical show, put blood everywhere, and then shuffled the kids out in the middle of the night. Brian was arrested as a just like that undercover officer was arrested, and he's really gets carte blanche treatment behind bars. I don't know. Yeah, we're so as a society today, we're so enthralled about wanting to see every grisly detail. That's why I don't get why creators put trigger warnings or all these other things, or they can't say murder or rape or any of that stuff because that's what people want to hear. That's what people want to see. They don't care about the trigger warning. They want to know the dirty, ugly details. I don't know why the fascination with the dirty, ugly details, but used to, whenever we heard the dirty, ugly details, we were We were appalled by this. I think we're just so desensitized by violence that nothing. We're looking for the next big endorphin rush. The burden of proof is still questionable. They need to prove that he is guilty, just like they need to prove that he is not guilty. Right. But remember, anytime somebody was arrested, we were always told innocent until proven guilty, but we were never fighting for their innocence until they went to trial. I don't know when it became customary to be fighting for somebody's innocence before a trial. You know? I've always thought, you know, you want to hear something weird? When the World Trade Center, and this is off topic, but Paula said something, and I thought the same thing when this happened. When the World Trade Center was bombed in '93, I think, my first thought, and I said it to a friend of mine, I had just graduated high school, probably 2 years earlier. And I told my friend, I said, they're going to come back and hit it again. How I knew that, I had no clue. But I had that thought as clear as day. And then when it happened again, I was like, what the how did I even mutter those words? And you might not believe me, but I did have that statement come out of my mouth, you know? I read so much about Simpson case, and someone had said Ron was a young, fit man, but we are talking surprise, and it's O.J. Simpson, for God's sakes. Yeah. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was agreeing with you, actually, Carla. Um, on your statement, it is, the burden of proof is questionable, one way or the other. But yeah, that's why it's so interesting to me in that other case that we talk about. And it seems like most of the cases that are high profile, they are so filled with gaps that it just feeds the true crime conspiracies. The Sebastian Rogers case. It's almost like we need a victim and we need a hero. And which side are we going to align ourselves with? These other cases that the police tell you about, and they're transparent and everything else, you never see a lot of continued broadcast on these. All those cases that the police were telling you, this happened, that happened, the Rachel Morin case. People didn't cover that every day. They covered it for a little while, and then it went for months and months and months, and then they caught the killer. They talked about it a little more, and that's it. They haven't talked about it since. It's like if the police are transparent with the information, there's nothing for anybody to question because they've told you what they've told you. It's like we only pick those cases where there's no transparency because then we can fill up the void with all of our conspiracy. Baywatcher, I'm just asking you this question because I don't know much about that case. I've been in and out of that case. I just don't know enough about it. Do you believe that the person they have is the person who did it? Just think, let's say if OJ was really innocent, if Glenn did really do it, OJ would have still been blamed because of the domestic violence and stuff that went on in their relationship. Yeah. I remember the rich guy being a sensational video before the arrest. Okay. But do you believe that what's that guy that's in jail right now? God, my mind is just mush. Um Allen, his last name's Allen. Do you believe he did it? Do y'all believe that the Allen guy did yeah, Richard Allen. Do you believe that Richard did the murder of those two little girls? Okay. What makes you believe that, Truth? Because I don't know enough about the case to really have one way or the other. That's why I'm asking. Because I'd like to learn from you guys. Like to learn, what give because that case was around for a long time, right? Like 15 years before they got an arrest. So Richard Allen, you believe he did it? Does anybody else believe he did it? Does anybody else believe that Richard Allen is guilty of killing those two little girls? How about you, Carla? Do you believe that Richard Allen did it? Rondi, do you believe? Paula? Okay. I haven't either. I've dabbled in it, a little bit of hit and miss. But as far as, diving into the whole thing from start to finish, that's a long case to really do a lot of research on. 15 years worth. Paula said, I did, but I have to admit the defense team is working hard to create doubt. I haven't followed it close enough to really know. I believe he racked that side back on that Glock to scare them into following orders, not the ejected shell they found. I'll say there is no evidence they're going off him checking himself into rehab and placing himself there in the interview after the event. I mean, the part that gets me on the Delphi case is that they don't have him in county jail like they have other inmates. I don't know if that's part of that state's protocol, but here in Texas, you wait in county until your trial, and then you're sentenced, and then you go back to county to wait for the prison to come pick you up, whatever prison you're going to go to, or diagnostics, the orientation part of it, and then you go from there. I've never heard of any state that where you go directly to prison to wait before the trial. I've never heard that. You say the big evidence is not real, it just sounds real to people who do not know about science. I hear there's no connection. Okay. So in your state, do they put arrested people that should be in county in prison? He also went on starvation diet to drop 60 pounds so he would not look like the rich guy. Not here in Texas, they don't. They don't. Here in Texas, the medical stuff is terrible. Exactly. You know, see, like in Idaho, I don't know why isn't Brian sent to prison awaiting his trial? Why is he in the county jail? You know what I mean? Because in Delphi, they sent Richard to prison. He's in a prison. He's not in the county jail, as far as I know. Yeah, I hear you, Truth. I hear you. Just here in Texas, it's not. The medical stuff is trash. You know, they literally make you drop I-60s to get to see medical, and that could be months or years in some cases. Okay, I got you. That's why he's in the prison. Okay, that's understandable. I always wondered that. I was like, why is he in the prison? That makes sense. See, that's why I like to learn from you guys. Like I can learn from you guys. You know, I'm humble enough to do that. I don't. You know, I don't. If I don't know, I don't know. That's why I ask questions, and I take your word as being your word. Not, I'm not gonna go fact check it or get into an argument based on your understanding of what you're stating. I mean, I take your word as your word. I'm not, you know, if I find out later on you're wrong, I'm not going to come back and be like, you were wrong. Why'd you tell me that wrong information? I'm not going to do that. That's childish. But yeah, it's interesting how this whole process works out with the criminal justice system. Obviously, our justice system is broken, but unfortunately, it's the only thing we have at this point. And until they fix it or it gets better, there's going to be a lot more unfortunate people that get caught in that web. I hope y'all, for the third time today, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you hit the like button if you did. Um, Pass it along to people. Let them know about my channel because I like to see these, different variations of people. I see different people in each one of my lives, and I like seeing that because it shows diversity. And it showed that, and I know you guys in chat enjoy that. In truth, I will give you back your wrench, not because you keep speaking about it, but because I gave it to you for a reason in the beginning, anyways. So the next time I go live, you will have a wrench back. Okay, if I can find out how to do that in the YouTube part. And the rest of you, thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful night. Rondi, be safe on your run in the morning if you're going to go run. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Tomorrow I will be off until Wednesday, so who knows? You might get 3 more lives tomorrow. I have a lot of time and I have a lot of rejuvenated energy, and my brain is clear. You know, you know, my brain is clear, and I'm seeing things in a different light. You know, I have nothing against any other creators. I really don't. There are just some that I refuse to follow or be on their panels because honestly, they think they know it all. And how can you be on a panel when you're talking with somebody and they're so arrogant that they know everything about everything? That's just a waste of my time, I think. You know? Um, I can tell you that one of the panels that I do enjoy going on is Post Woke World. Her and I have a good rapport when I'm on her panel and she's on mine. We get along well on our lives, and I enjoy being on hers. And there's some good people out there. There really is. Just try to fact check some of this theories and stuff that you hear because it might not be true. And you might be, getting invested emotionally for nothing. I thank you guys once again. Y'all have a wonderful night. 12 gauge is probably going to bed. I don't know either. I like myself pretty much. I don't know why anybody would dislike me. But that's their prerogative. Truth. I mean, that's their prerogative. I'm still gonna be here regardless if I have one person in chat or 10 people in chat and they're all mods. It doesn't matter to me. I enjoy y'all's company. I hope you enjoy mine. Yes, exactly. Well, I'm out of here, guys. Good night. Maestro, one more time. Let's cue it up. Let's give them something different.